Okay, my friends, welcome back to the continuation of our computer components. So before we left for a break, we were on hardware on a commercial perspective. Okay? So we're at this slide and we are continuing with this. So we're saying networking is a hardware component that we have to look at a commercial perspective. So one is we are saying switches. A switch is a hardware component. Routers or routers. Routers are also in a hardware form. You can touch, feel it. It is a physical component or hardware component. So networking, network management, interfaces and modules, optical networking, all are on the side of networking, but we are looking at these on a commercial perspective. How to get them on the market? What do we find on the market there? And the hardware, but on networking. But wireless and mobility also, we have access points. Like this is a modem, a Cisco link, router or modem for wireless. Okay, we also have outdoor and industrial access points, controllers. Okay, they are all under the wireless and mobility, but we can find them on the market outside there. Okay, so we are continuing with the hardware and software on a commercial perspective. We are looking at security. The next generation firmware, advanced malware protection, cloud security, network visibility and segmentation, email security, web security. Now we have these hardware components and given softwares that are for security reasons, security purposes. So we shall have to find them on market. We can find them. Okay. So then the collaboration endpoints, video conferencing or conferencing, contact centers, unified communication, all are there. Like right now I'm doing communication. Look at this lady is doing communication collaboratively with the hardware components. Okay, so you can have the software, the hardware outside there on the market for collaboration, for security, for networking, for wireless. You can find them outside there. Continued here, we are looking at the data centers. Look at Google, by the way. One time I was watching a video on Google servers. It is really amazing, guys. If you can go there and watch it. Visit there, look for that video on YouTube, watch it. It is really amazing. It is a data center there. Okay. So we have also the analysis. On the data centers, we are seeing servers. We are seeing data center switches, data center security, and many more. The virtual networking. Okay. So we have the analysis, data center analysis, and assurance. If you want, you can find it. The network security analysis, it is there. Network security, network analysis, Cisco DNA. Okay. Analysis is outside there. You can find this on the market, guys. They are there. You can find that information. Then we also have what we are calling Internet of Things, the IoT, the Internet of Things. So looking at the IoT or Internet of Things networking, extended enterprise IoT management, and many more. Softwares, there are very many softwares on the market. We have the iOS, yeah, and others. We have the Cisco one for access, Cisco one for one, that is wide area network, and many others. You can find them. So hardware and software on a commercial perspective continued. We are ending with small businesses, transactions. Look at this, ladies. They're doing some kind of transaction. Middle size or mid-size businesses are there outside there. Look at this. All these are gadgets. They are hardware components in collaboration with softwares and the user. Okay. Right. So these are all gadgets or computer components. The system unit. Let's look at the system unit. So our first question in the mind is, what is a system unit or the system unit? We're saying is the case or a case that contains electronic components of the computer used to process data. So it is just this case or the case, the computer case or the box. Like one time I asked in class, what do you think this is? So a given number of students said that is a CPU. Well, they were right, because a CPU is what makes up a computer in most cases. But a CPU is a component inside, guys. It is a component inside the systems unit or the case. Okay? So sometimes called a chassis. Some other people call it a chassis. You simply can call it a computer case, right? So it is not formal to call it a box, please. It is not formal to call it a box. So we have a system unit here, or a systems unit here, this case, but working together with a monitor and some other components on it, there is a systems software. We have systems unit also can be in this form, inbuilt, embedded. We have another system unit for a laptop. We have also another system unit for a phone, a cell phone. Okay, so systems unit are different. There is this kind of system unit, the case, but the laptop has an inbuilt system. It is two in one. Okay. A systems unit is together with the monitor. The same thing with the phone, the same thing with other gadgets. Okay. So we continue with this systems unit. Let's look at it opened. This is the side view of the systems unit when we open it for a desktop computer. So we have very many components, and there are hardware components inside the systems unit. One is the power supply. This area here is a power supply, and that one is the one that mainly supply or distribute power onto the computer. Remember, we say the systems unit contains electronic components, because they use power, they use electricity. Okay, they use electricity. The CPU is also inside the case. The fan, the hard disk, or the hard thing, or the heat sink. Sorry, this is the heat sink, not the hard disk. Heat sink. We have the video card, we have the modem, we have the sound card, we have the floppy, we have the ribbon cable, we have the motherboard in general, we have the CD and DVD-ROM drives. Okay, We have the hard drive, like I said, the hard disk. We have the power, they are called the power cords, okay? We have the floppy disk or drive. Here we said we have the sound card, we have the ribbon cable, but here we have the floppy drive, we have the zip drive for some cases, and the extra case fan, okay? So all these components, as we have named them here, plus others that we have not actually labeled, they are in the computer case or in the systems unit. So we shall get time to discuss different parts or components that are in the computer case or in the systems unit, like the CPU that does processing, the fan that does the blowing, trying to emit outside the warm air, the heat sink that tries to cool down the CPU and some other gadgets, the video card, and many more, okay? So the systems unit continued. We have also this type of systems unit. So we are going to look at what are common components inside the systems unit, the common one. The other side we have tried to name them just on the previous slide. So we are saying the motherboard is one of the common components. The processor, the memory, the adapter card, the sound card, the modem card, the video card, the network card. We have also ports. We have drive bays or drive bays. We have the power supply and the others. So look here, this is also another case. We have opened it again. So here we have removed this. This is a processor, what we are calling the central processing unit, the CPU. We have what we are calling the drive bays. So where they come from, the bay, where it sits. So we have the memory, the random access memory. We have looked at the sound card. We have also looked at the video card is also within the case. We have looked at the modem card, the network card. All are components here. We have the ports. Ports are different connectors. I mean areas on the case where we connect cables or we plug cables. So let's look at one by one. The systems unit continued. We're looking at the motherboard. The motherboard. So we're saying is the main circuit board in the systems unit where most components are fixed. Like in our previous video, very first videos for beginners, for the introduction to computers, we said we have the motherboard, that it is that component where all the input, the processing, the output, the drives and whatever are attached. Okay, so we said we should not ask for a fatherboard. Actually, it is not there, guys. It is not there. It is not there. We don't have the fatherboard. So it contains adapter cards, processor chips, and memory chip, plus many more. It is also called the system board. If you want to talk about the motherboard, you can say it is a systems board. If you see, as you see here, it contains a lot of components attached on it, right? There are very many here attached on it. So we are looking at the processor. We talked about it. The memory chips are also here. Very many. The cards, the adapter cards, like we described them. The expansion cards, the expansion slots, the adapter cards, all of them are there on the systems unit. So guys, when we come back to in our second lecture, we're going to look at the systems unit, but looking at another component in the system unit called the expansion slots. So don't go away, continue subscribing. Let's meet in the next video.